But then, you know what, guys? When I was a fucking open micer, there was a poetry meeting. And I used to crash the poetry meetings. I would go in there with like a skinny cigarette, you know, and just like, yeah, like a Capri Sun, the light, Capri, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I can't believe you remember Capri. They're the little faggy cigarettes. They're skinny. Oh, you don't know how many nights I ran out of Camel Lights when you're doing coke and you got to go for that fucking somebody else's side. I used to get high with this chick all the time. Oh, my God. She used to drive me crazy. I didn't even go over there for sex. I just kind of liked her to talk to her on drugs. But she was a boozer. She would wear me the fuck out. Many a night I was over there smoking Camel Lights. I'd run out of cigarettes and start smoking a little faggy Capris. Oh, my God, they got me dizzy and gave me a headache, and they were fucking skinny and shit. You over there fucking sucking the fucking Capri like the penguin. I would show up at those fucking poetry readings in Boulder, but that's completely different. A AA meeting has got God around them, like you're looking for a higher power and all that shit. So I had to take a minute from the podcast to talk to you about BetterHelp online therapy. I've been working with Dana now for about 5 months from the beginning of my taper, and she's been nothing but knowledgeable, helpful, and tremendous. We talk about BetterHelp a lot on this show, and this month we're discussing some of the stigmas around mental health. Many people think therapy is for so-called crazy people or weak people, but therapy doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means that you're recognizing your emotions and you're ready to learn to control them like I had to. Therapy is a tool to utilize before things get worse. BetterHelp is customized online therapy. They offer phone, video, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. In my case, it was Dana. You don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy. You don't need to be a millionaire, and you can start communicating with your therapist in less than 48 hours. Give it a try. Go to BetterHelp.com right now. Press in Diaz, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the first month 10% off your first month when you go to BetterHelp.com/Diaz. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Diaz. Take control of your life. I did, and I'm feeling 100% better. Thank you for watching The Joint, cocksuckers. You know, it just bothered me, but I remember when I went to meet with those guys for the movie, and it wasn't him in the room, because he would never say this to me, and one of the guys said, you know, you have a drug abuse problem, a substance problem, and we want to know that you're going to have it in check during this movie. And I remember that I felt like shit when he told me that. I was very fucking embarrassed about that because I didn't want my drug use to fall into my comedy and into my acting. But at that point, it had. Stand-up was affecting, you know, towards the end of The Longest Yard, my relationship with them was not any good. My relationship was intact with Adam, but the producers knew about my substance abuse problem, and I just shunned it off, you know. And when I went to talk to these guys about Boilermaker, if you could find the movie, rent it. It's not a bad movie. I did a good job in the movie. That's the first time I was really loose in a movie. I had to be there 1 days in a row for this movie. So when they offered me the movie, that was
That's a long time for you, man.
Yeah, that was the fucking, I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And I wanted to talk about this today, but I didn't in a way. But I thought that I've been reading a lot of the messages again lately. A couple people on Patreon, a couple people on Facebook, a couple people on Twitter, you know, reach out to me. And people are struggling with drugs. They're finally coming to the conclusion that they're struggling with drugs. This last 2 years has been very hard on some people. It was hard on me. I struggled for a little while. So I know that it was hard for a lot of people. So I wanted just to let you know that you're not alone and that you could beat this. You know, I thought about this last night, about the podcast, how I was going to present this to you. The name of this podcast is called How You Can Beat This. Because the thing that kills us the most as human beings is when we go to do our goals, we think about them, and while we're writing them, I got to be honest with you guys, when I first started writing goals and doing all this type of shit, I thought I was just kidding myself, and I thought that I never thought I'd be on TV. I never thought, when I tell you these things, guys, I'm honest with you guys. I was in such a bad shape mentally. I mean, my stand-up was good. I was attentive. I was enthusiastic. But I never thought I could do anything because of my drug record, because of where I came from, and because of my felonies. And that was that's stinking thinking is what they call that shit, right? They call like stinking thinking. Sorry about the water bottle, guys, but it's part of growing the fuck up, I can't get away from, what do you want me to do, pack a glass with ice cubes, and then you'll complain about the fucking ice cubes. If I get a fucking lunch thing, one of those canteens, you'll complain about the fucking canteen. So at the end of the day, you're going to complain about everything. So who gives a fuck? Let me drink my water in peace and get hydrated here so I can have a good week like you cocksuckers. But my point being is that I just, don't ever, when you're thinking about your sobriety, when you're thinking about your goals, when you're thinking about the things that you want to do, don't write yourself off. I did that. I wrote myself off. And listen, I still got to the places where I wanted to get to because I consistently wrote my goals every fucking day. Like right now, I'm going to go into deep waters. I'm putting myself into deep waters. I got to change my life around. I'm very close. So what do I have to do? I got to start writing daily goals. Yeah, I journal. Yeah, I do quarterly goals, but you know what? Starting tomorrow, starting today, as a matter of fact, when this podcast ends, I'm going to start the daily goals because it's Monday. And daily goals could be anything, but my daily goal for years was to quit cocaine. And then I would put down quit cocaine. How are you going to quit cocaine? That was the fucking thing. I didn't know the 3 things to answer. That's the other side of writing your goals. When you write your goals, it's so number 1, quit cocaine. A, B, and C. How are you going to quit? What 3 things are you going to do to quit? Do you know what the crazy thing with me is? I can never fill out A, B, and C. So for me on a daily basis, when I wrote out my goals to quit cocaine, I didn't even know how to start to get there. How do you quit cocaine? You go to AA? I tried that. You go to NA? I tried that. You go to a rehab? I tried that. I tried an outpatient rehab, not a 6-week in there with a bunch of momos chanting Kumbaya. I mean, I tried all that. You tried talking to a priest, they wouldn't even take my calls anymore. I talked to so many fucking priests.